What if they give you the base and the area and want you to find a missing dimension within the triangle? So we're going to look at our formula and determine which dimension is missing. So this is the area, check. This is the base, check. But it doesn't give us the height. So that is actually what we're going to be solving for. Okay, so I know that area is squared and my dimensions are not squared. So it's going to be whatever it is in feet. All I have to do is take the dimensions that it gives me and plug it into my formula. And then I'm going to work backwards to try to figure out what did I start with in order to get to my final product. So instead of an A, I'm going to substitute the actual area for that part of my formula. So this is 5 5/6 is 1/2 of the base, which it does give me as 5, times the height. I don't know the height. So now I'm going to solve the parts of the product that I actually do know. So I'm going to take 1/2 of 5. 1/2 of 5, all you have to do is take 5 and divide it by 2. So we're going to do 5 divided by 2. So 2 goes into 5 2 times. 2 groups of 2 is 4. I had 5, I utilized 4, I have 1 remaining. I'm going to go ahead and keep this as a fraction considering that my area over here is also a mixed number. So I have 2 wholes and then 1/2 remaining. So this is my whole number. The 1 is going to become my numerator and the denominator is going to stay the same. So now I have 5 5/6 is 2 1/2 of the height. Now this is 2 1/2 times the height is going to give me the area of 5 5/6. So we're going to do the opposite. Instead of multiplying by 2 1/2, we're going to divide both sides of our equation by 2 1/2. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side of the equation in order to keep them balanced. So 2 1/2 divided by 2 1/2 is just 1. 1 times the height is just going to leave me with the height. Now I have 5 5/6 divided by 2 1/2. Whenever you're multiplying or dividing by mixed numbers, it's best to turn them into improper fractions. In order to do that, we're going to follow the acronym MAD. MAD stands for multiply. I'm going to multiply the 6 times the 5, the denominator times the whole number. A stands for add. Then I'm going to add my numerator. So MAD is multiply, add, and then my denominator, the D, is going to stay the same on both sets of these mixed numbers. So the denominator is a 6, it stays a 6. Denominator is a 2, it's going to stay a 2. 6 times 5 is 30, plus the numerator 5 is 35. 2 times 2 is 4, plus the numerator of 1 is 5. Now whenever you multiply fractions, you're going to use the keep, flip, change, the KFC. So we're going to keep the first fraction the exact same. We're going to flip the second fraction to its reciprocal. And then we're going to change the division to multiplication. Now all I have to do is multiply my numerators together and then multiply my denominators together. 35 times 2 is 70. 6 times 5 is 30. Do you see how both of these end in a 0? If both numbers end in a 0, you can automatically reduce those both by 10 simply by just marking out the zeros. So now I have 7/3 is my height. This is an improper fraction. You're not allowed to have a numerator that's bigger than the denominator. So I'm going to go ahead and divide this and turn it back into a mixed number. So once again, I'm going to go top in, bottom out. Top is 7, that's my numerator. 3 is my denominator, and it's going to go outside. If I have 7, can I make groups of 3? Well, one group of 3 is 3. 2 groups of 3 is 6. 3 groups of 3 is 9. If I have 3 groups of 3, which is 9, that's too much. So I'm going to mark this one out and move up. So I'm going to utilize 2 groups of 3, which is 6. If I had 7 and I remove 6, I have 1 remaining. So my answer is going to be 2, which is going to be my whole number, and 1, which is my numerator, over 3, which is my denominator. You notice that the denominator is not changing. It's going to stay the same. So my height of this triangle is 2 and 1 over 3. Remember, it's going to be measured in just feet, not feet squared, because it is not the area, it is just one of the dimensions.